I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
'19 Mercedes-AMG GT63S.
Four-door coupe.
Launch control.
Yeah, we're parked. Here we go. Race start. Oh my God, this is so fast.
So pretty much like the E63S wagon.
Faster. This is actually faster. This is the most powerful Mercedes ever built. Aside from the AMG Project 1, which technically doesn't exist yet.
Horsepower and torque.
630 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8.
So this is brand new for 2019.
Yes, it is. This is an all-new model.
What is this?
This is basically the Mercedes AMG GT as a 4-door, which is exactly what this is called.
So it's just a stretched out AMG GTC or something, right?
No, it's actually got elements of a bunch of different cars in it, so it's a whole new chassis specific to this car, I believe.
So like the E63S, this has 4MATIC Plus?
Yes, so it is capable of rear-wheel drive drift mode.
We should probably ask Mercedes if we can bring out a Mercedes with drift mode to a track event, like a drift day.
I think we should ask them to do that.
See how good a Mercedes drifts compared to real drift cars.
That would be fun. Would you guys like to see that? Let us know in the comments.
So let's get to
the power. This thing is so friggin' fast. It honestly is. It's lightning. Like, shifts are lightning. It's so fast. It pulls like a friggin' freight train, and I hate that expression, but it just continues pulling. So whenever I say that, that just means it keeps pulling every gear.
I've got a new term for that.
Okay.
Nauseatingly fast.
Yeah, okay.
You know when like you take too many launches in a Tesla or whatever, your head hurts?
This actually did that. So for the first time, my neck hurt after like 5 launches. I got really excited and I started launching it all the time. There is, however, a little bit of turbo lag, just a hint of it, because there's so much boost. That's why you feel the lag. It's still a V8, it's still fast, but there's just a little bit of lag.
It's not snappy.
It's not like McLaren lag. That's fun, crazy lag. This is just a little bit.
So how about handling?
Handling is insane because it's, after all, an AMG. This is not a Mercedes that AMG has massaged. This is actually a Mercedes AMG.
You can't get a non-AMG version of the AMG GT.
Exactly. So like an E63S is a Mercedes AMG E63S. This is an actual AMG built version. So let's send it into cliche corner, and this feels very rear-wheel drive, but it is all-wheel drive.
And we should remind you that this has Mercedes-Benz traction control.
Yeah, and it's also very well improved, and you can actually drift it a little bit on corners, and it's so fun.
Hasn't bogged down yet.
No, it hasn't.
But I have noticed the traction control light flash when you're flooring it in a straight line in dry.
That just shows how much power this has.
So you need to put it to ESP Sport for that.
And then you can turn it off, and then you can fully turn it off and put it in rear-wheel drive drift mode like we said.
Should we share the cheat code for it?
Go for it.
Race mode, drive, traction off, hold both pedals back, and then click to confirm.
Yep.
And that means you're just rear-wheel drive.
Traction off, you can't use it with traction on, which makes sense. And we've got a 9-speed transmission, and it shifts so fast. Let's talk about how it sounds when it shifts.
Pretty much like most other Mercedes AMGs, but the tone is slightly different.
Exactly, so it's not like all other AMGs. The tone has like these new mid-tones, and I like it. It's more aggressive sounding throughout the entire power band, but it still has those crackles and pops, and I think they have a little bit more bass now. It's still one of my favorite overall sounds from a manufacturer. So let's talk about the suspension. We have a bunch of different drive modes, which we'll get into later, but overall, it is definitely stiffer than an E63S wagon. But you put it in comfort, and it's still really comfortable to drive. It is definitely stiff overall, still comfortable.
Because to me, I look at this and I'm like, is this a luxury vehicle or is this a fast 4-door car? And I'm not really sure which one it is.
This is a fast 4-door car. This competes with a Panamera.
But it's also kind of a luxury vehicle.
Well, of course it is.
It's like, there's a single thing in here that's not super luxurious.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
But it's still a sports car.
I know.
But it's a Grand Tour.
It's riding both lines very well.
It is.
Oh, is that why it's called GT?
I must be.
Oh, got him.
What about a Mustang GT?
No, I don't know what that is. Okay, drive modes.
There's a lot of them.
What are they?
Slippery, individual, comfort, sport, sport plus, race.
So the way you change drive modes in this one is different than the last AMG GTC we drove.
And this is now my favorite way of doing it overall.
So let's start with the steering wheel drive mode selection. We've got a little circular knob, kind of like Porsche, which changes your drive modes, but it's digital, so it shows you exactly what's going on, and it's so easy to see and so easy to read.
And if you click it, it goes straight to your individual mode.
Then on the left, we've got 2 little buttons that we can click. to go through our either exhaust, suspension, traction control.
And how do you change those?
By clicking on the LCD screen, and that chooses what's going to be there next. So if you always use exhaust and traction, you can make it always have exhaust and traction.
Because you always have those buttons available on your center console, but now you have them on your steering wheel.
So now to the center console. In the AMG GTs, you know how we had that big thing that came out in the middle?
This is now like that.
We've got the same style. However, now we've got little LCD buttons instead of those other old buttons that we had before.
I don't really like them.
I don't really like it either, but it matches the steering wheel really well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, especially on the right side with glare, but overall, I think I preferred the older one still.
But you can control everything from your steering wheel anyway, so it doesn't even really matter.
Everything that's important, yeah.
But it's cool that it's the same shape.
I think it kind of cheapens the look with the silver, but the only other option is gloss black, so this is way better.
But to sidetrack for a second, if you look at the interior very carefully, you've got the E63 lines,
Yes,
right?
you do, yeah.
But then you've got the AMG GTC style middle section.
Yeah, they've mixed
They
both.
combined it because the AMG GTC is not going to get this kind of line right here or the GTR or anything.
And it's not going to get these beautiful interior colors as well.
And it's not going to get drift mode, but it's going to have its own drift control.
Yeah, it'll have 9 levels of traction or whatever.
Yeah, or just rear wheel drive. But yeah, they're different. They made an AMG GT out of a non-AMG GT parts, I guess, kind of.
It's a really good way to do it. They are finding little holes, little niches all the time. They have so many different versions of so many different cars.
And then also in this center section, we don't yet have a touchpad. We've got a scroll wheel, but it's different than the old scroll wheels.
Yeah, I don't mind this one at all.
You actually rest your forearm on the shifter, use the scroll wheel, and then we've got little buttons above it, which are proximity touch buttons, which show up on the screen.
Yeah, those are new, those are cool. But I want to talk about this shifter for a second because I can't stand the parking button. And so basically you have to like cock your finger in a weird way to press it, and it's just awkward.
But you don't. Okay, put your hand on it.
Okay,
Where's your thumb?
resting with my fingertip on it.
So then push down on your thumb, fingertip.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it would work, but it's just annoying. By the way, this is the Nürburgring champion for a 4-seater vehicle, not a 4-door vehicle. Do you know what happened there?
Somebody already had the record in a 5-seater, so they just made this a 4-seater?
No, Jaguar with the Project 8, they have the record for a 4-door, but they removed the rear seats and put in a roll cage, so Mercedes said, fastest 4-seater.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so technically the Jaguar is faster with 4 doors, but there you go.
Gimmick records.
Exactly. And if you go to Track Pace, you can see the Nürburgring record time there.
So we have Track Pace, which lets you follow all that cool stuff on an app and on the Mercedes.
But now let's dig into this stuff, but let's get you into the driver's seat.
I want to start with looks.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
What do you think of the looks?
Looks pretty good. Oh, this is so freaking fast. So this does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.2 seconds.
What did the E63S do?
Like 3.5-ish.
Oh, this is faster?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But on to those looks.
Kind of like a CLS.
Kind of, yes.
So it is a coupe.
It is, well, 4-door coupe.
What does coupe mean nowadays?
I have no idea. I don't even think it has a meaning anymore.
So here's what I think coupe means now, or coupe, or whatever it is.
I think it's a silhouette, but go on.
So back in the day, I learned that coupe meant there was no B-pillar. It went all the way open right across. And I think if it looks like it kind of is like that, then it can be called a coupe.
So basically the silhouette.
Pretty much. And if it's an SUV, if it looks hunchier, then it's also a coupe.
I guess so.
I think that's the rule.
I guess
everyone in Germany has agreed with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's specifically Germany.
I haven't seen the leaks of the Dodge Cherokee coupe yet, but I'm sure it'll come one day.
Yeah, Trackhawk coupe.
Starting with the color.
The color is Designo Brilliant Blue Magno.
I think it looks very nice. However, I am not a big fan of the matte colors on the Mercedes.
I think they look stunning. I think the grays actually kind of look better sometimes.
That red one that we saw at the auto show with the monoblocks was my favorite.
Yeah, by the way, you can actually get monoblocks for this. Let's talk about these wheels. The monoblocks, the fact that they brought those back, that's amazing. You should definitely option those just because they have them.
So how about these wheels?
If you're not gonna option the monoblocks, definitely get these ones because these are some of my favorite wheels from Mercedes right now. And the Continental recommended tire for the AMG GT63S 4-door coupe is the Conti Sport Contact 5P.
Front end.
Front end looks really good. I have grown to like this update because this is the only one that exists. I just mean the overall Mercedes front end refresh.
So this is the Panamericana grille.
Yep.
Do we know what that means yet?
Nope.
But it's got the big lines that go up and down.
That is as far as we know what that means.
Yeah, it looks very good from the front, especially when you get low down. I really like the new style headlights. I think they look really good. And they're the same kind of ones that are on the new AMG GTR and everything.
That's what I mean. These are the new refreshed Mercedes design language, and I didn't like it at first, but you see it in person. It's very aggressive, really nice looking.
It kind of looks like it's crawling right above the ground, like a really low profile slug.
Yeah, definitely slugged.
And the hood, we've got two nice big bumps in the hood, and I think it pops really hard with the matte paint.
Exactly. I think the matte paint helps with that for sure.
So how about the side?
Side profile looks like a coupe. That is the one angle that it actually does look like one.
My favorite part of the side angle, spoiler.
Yeah, the spoiler. We have that as part of the aerodynamics package. You don't have to get that, but it does look pretty cool.
It just gives it that final piece of flair that sets it apart from like an older CLS or something from a distance.
Or even a newer CLS, because
Yeah.
I think they look pretty much almost identical, and I'm kind of confused as to why both of them exist. Although this is a Sportback, but the back seats don't fold down.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You have to get the executive package to then get a 40-40 split, so this is not going to do really well in the box test. 3 boxes.
Actually, it's 5.
Does that count?
Yeah, because it's a hatchback, but the seats don't go down.
Let us know in the comments.
Back to looks. Let's talk about the rear end.
Rear end looks fantastic because we got those quad exhausts.
Probably the best angle is the rear / rear 3/4 of this.
That diffuser is so aggressive. Yeah, I agree. The back end is the business end.
The quad exhaust does look great. The rear diffuser looks completely different than other rear diffusers.
Yeah, it really does. It's really aggressive.
What do you think of the taillights?
Taillights are good, not over the top.
I think they're a nice new subtle look for what this is.
And by the way, you can get this as a 57, a 63, and a 63S, and a possible upcoming 73, which is going to be an 800 horsepower hybrid.
I will drive that if I'm allowed.
Yep.
And let's end off the looks with the rear spoiler. What I really like is when you open the trunk and close it, you almost get hit in the face by that spoiler all the time.
That is true.
You're like, oh yes, I do drive a fast car right now.
Now let's talk about this interior, I think.
E63S.
Basically.
So we've got that good swoop. We've got the most amazing nighttime lights going on all the time.
Yeah, I absolutely love them. And then your vents also glow blue or red if you're raising or lowering the temperature, which is a really nice touch.
Then right above the vents, we've got the double screen, which we really like.
Yeah, the resolution is great. Everything is fantastic with these, except there's still a little bit of lag.
Yeah, but then the graphics are also high res when they stop. It's okay. It's not the newest Mercedes.
Exactly.
Style. And that's why we don't have a touchpad. We still have a scroll wheel. But I think in Europe, you can get the touchpad or the scroll wheel. But I think the touchpad is horrible, and we should get back to scroll wheels and Mercedes only.
But the fact that this has this generation of infotainments, this might be the best sweet spot for
Yeah.
Mercedes. Because remember, the
Yeah.
E63 got updated, or it will get updated. It doesn't have Hey Mercedes.
Which is fine.
It's amazing.
It's got rewinding satellite radio stations and tune mix, which is great. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Does your Android Auto go all the way across yet?
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, that's cool. We'll talk about it when Android Auto copies the Apple CarPlay theme. Yeah? Yeah, okay, just checking. Okay, I want to talk about the gauges. There are some differences from, say, the E63S wagon that we drove.
There is one new mode,
What's it called?
Super Sport.
So instead of progressive, Super Sport.
So it puts the tack right in the middle and it just screams at you to shift whenever you need to.
And it also looks slightly different, slightly redesigned. I think it's a very good way to adapt the system.
And I love the way that race start looks.
Yeah, flashing red at you all the time.
It's so aggressive. Mercedes has the most aggressive launch control ever.
And then in this one, they've got a new name for traction control.
Yeah, so if you press the traction control a couple times, you get Pro or Master, and then when you turn it off, it stays in Master. So AMG Dynamics is now new.
Master.
What, are you gonna not drive in Master?
On master mode all the time.
Obviously.
We should probably talk about the colors of the interior.
Saddle brown and gray ash open pore.
I like dark ash wood a little bit more, but I think this is absolutely stunning. Yo, can I send it through cliche?
Obviously.
Well, it definitely feels like a GT car.
Yeah, it's got tons of grip. We have rear wheel steering, and then we also have air suspension. So when you put it in race mode, it basically just lowers itself.
How does the rear wheel steering work? Same as every other rear wheel steering?
Yep, the same direction at fast speeds, opposite at low speeds.
So now we never have to mention that ever again.
Never again.
Okay, and back to this interior. I absolutely love the 360 camera.
Yeah, the 360 camera is very good, very high resolution. We do have some gloss black, but it's so minimal that it doesn't matter. It's actually just behind the vents over here, so let's leave that for the guy that cleans it again.
And then we got a little bit here in the shifter and the trackpad.
But you can get this as all gloss black, and just please don't.
How about the visors?
Yeah, let's find out. I've got some faith in this.
3, 2, 1.
Yes!
Oh, wow, look
Full
how far.
pass.
That covers like an inch past.
Boom.
That's how you do it, people.
Cup holder test.
So it does fit, but to get your hand in there is so difficult. You're gonna pop the lid off. I am giving that a borderline fail. So it's a fail,
I agree.
but just barely.
It is a fail.
But then we've got a cool cup holder cover that slides forward, different from the old style ones.
Now let's talk about these seats because they are so well bolstered. You can adjust it through the infotainment. We can get massages, and they're heated and cooled.
The only thing that I don't really like is I feel like there's too much padding at the bottom and the back. But my favorite part about these seats is the little AMG badge into the metal. So how about the back seats?
Back seats are okay. I do not fit at 6'1.5". My head is really squished from the roof because of the shape of the car.
But it is cool that they're Panamera style seats where they're like 4 buckets in the whole car.
Well, you can actually get like those real executive seats in here.
This is just the lower tier style?
Yeah, exactly.
It's still really nice.
The budget ones.
Oh, and what I really like is that we have frameless doors.
Yeah, it's really nice on a 4-door.
So am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
Let's get to the price.
It's very expensive. Starts at $177,500 for the GT63S. This one is optioned out to $189,500.
But is it really that expensive when you consider how much an AMG GT costs and that this is just a 4-door version of it?
No, but it's just a lot of money overall.
And then how about a Panamera?
The Panamera is its #1 competitor, and this kind of slots between the GTS and the Turbo, so you almost get better price point for this because you get more horsepower than the GTS.
Do you think this looks better than a Panamera?
I'm not sure.
I think this looks more aggressive and that looks classier. But the Sport Turismo Panamera, especially in green that we just reviewed, I think looks better, but I don't know, it's hard.
It is hard. I think this is more aggressive, and I think this is more my style, but the Porsche just kind of works better right now. The first gen Panamera was disgusting compared to the current one, but I agree, the Sport Turismo versus this, I think the Sport Turismo looks better.
Okay, so between this and the Sport Turismo, which one would you take?
I would take this just because of the horsepower. It's so damn fast and it sounds incredible.
I love the Sport Turismo, but this sounds better to me than the Sport Turismo does. It's got a better infotainment, more things that I like, and it's so new that like nobody even knows. A guy in a white Brabus G-Wagon rolled up to me today and asked me what year this was. A guy in a Brabus G-Wagon was envious over this.
We had a guy from Canada Post come over and check it out. When I was driving it, I was turning heads everywhere. This is just so new on the road that people don't even know what it is.
But it was probably just as many looks as that Sport Turismo.
It probably was, yeah. So let us know what you guys think, this or a Panamera. Which one would you take?
Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out patreon.com/thestraightpipes, join our YouTube membership, and check out Teespring. We got swag.
I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. Subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.